record. I'm sharing my screen. I'm just going to minimize that. The very first transaction to get into the configuration, the backdoor, is called SPRO. And then you click on the SAP reference IMG and you're in the configuration section. The menu kind of looks pretty similar to the other menu here. This is the user menu, and that is the configuration menu. Kind of look pretty much the same, but this is the front door, I would call it, and this is the back door for the configuration. You click on IMG or you're in the back door. So the very first thing is we talked about is the company and company codes. You go into enterprise structure, you go into definition, you go into financial accounting, and then you can go into either company or company code. A company could have many company codes. Okay, so let's go look at the company code. Company is not a legal entity. Company code is a legal entity. Company code is more important than the company. So I'm here, edit company code data. So this is the 1000 we've been using all along, right? This is the company code that we've been using. It's pretty easy to create a brand new company code. Let's see, there are gaps in 1, 2, 3, 3. There is nothing here in 3. Okay, so I'm just going to take the existing one and then copy it to Dirty Solutions. I'm just going to give it a 3. So I'm just going to keep everything the same. I'm not going to change everything, and it's going to pop up a next screen. It's going to ask you, the address, where the company has been set up, and just putting some defaults. But if it is, you can put in the actual, where the company code you've been setting up, and click on OK, and you got your company code. Okay, it is as simple as that. It's 1000. But this is not ready to be used yet. Okay, there is nothing you haven't. If you use 1003, you're just going to see a lot of errors. It's not ready for posting yet.
You can actually go back and do it again. You came to copy, delete, check, and then you clicked on it, and then you edited.
I didn't edit anything. Yeah, I didn't edit anything. But I'm recording. Why don't you just watch? The video should be there. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So the company code has already been created. I'm just going to save it. And you get a transport, and you click on. And if you don't see an existing one, you actually click on the new transport, and you can put your own name and create a brand new transport and then save it. Okay, and that's going to pop up every single time. Okay, and we create the company code. And typical large companies will have ExxonMobil typically could have 200 company codes. Okay, company code is, we talk about all of the legal entities and structure. Some companies could have only one. Federal government is just one company code, really. It's a large organization, but just one company code because they just want to manage books at one level. And then the next one is the business area. Business area is, we talked about what are the products the company is going to be, what lines of business the company is going to be in. Okay, so this is on the financial side. So it's going to just show you it's below company code level, but it's going to show you all the financials at the product level. So whenever you're putting the FB50, you have to put a business area in there, and then it's going to show you all the financials below the things. For example, GE we talked about, GE Medical, GE Finance, GE Oil and Gas, GE Aerospace, right? Those are all the business entities. Same thing here. Let's say I'm just going to take 3000 and I'm just going to copy it to 3001, where the solutions is in consulting. Okay? Consulting. Okay. And then I'm just going to take 3001, copy it, and I'm just going to do training. Okay, those are my two business areas that I can go and I can just pick, and then I can start posting those things. So all my cash and all the revenues and all those things will be. So if you don't see this thing, you click on the new and you get a new transport. Okay, I'm just going to do it here. This is the demo transport. Okay. And every time that demo transport is going to pop up for me. So I create a business area. I can also define a functional area. I think it's probably it got moved to the new GL side. Okay. Function FM underscore PLC instead. We'll do that later. And also you can create the segment. Segment is something defined as it depends. It's optional to use a segment. Segment is something where you need a balance sheet for any area of business that has 10% of more revenue. Let's say GE revenues, let's say aerospace, not aerospace is a bad example, but say GE oil and gas. The revenues for GE oil and gas exceed 10% of the total revenues, then legally you're required to maintain balance sheets for that particular segment. Okay, so you can create a segment called oil and gas. Okay, and then you can have the segment derived from the profit center. Derived means automatically it's going to substitute it, based on the hierarchy organization. So I'm just going to create for G here, say G oil and gas. Okay, so G something like that. Now I have a segment now. Okay, so now I'll go back into the I'm kind of in the define phase. Now I can also do the assignment phase here. Okay, and also do back to the new GL account settings. So here I can assign the company code. I have not created a company, but you could just go like, let's go do a company also at the very top. Okay? You can go create a company, and I'm just going to take my 1000 company here. I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to say here the global company code. Okay, I'm just going to call it 3. Let's say Verity Solutions is a global company, and I have Verity Solutions Consulting, Verity Solutions Training, Verity Solutions Finance, Verity Solutions Mexico, China, Brazil, like all these different companies. So I can still have one company and assign this to my company. So I got created Verity Solutions Global. Now I can go back here into my assignment. Okay. Now I can assign the company code to the company. So I have my 1000. 1000. Now I should see where is my data actually. Okay. So we created 1003 there, and then we created another 1003, and then I'm going to go back here, and then 1003. So oh, city is just showing city type. Okay, doesn't matter. I didn't change the city. Okay, so I'm just assigning my company back to my company code, and I'm just gonna save it. Okay. And I'm just gonna go back into my settings, go into documents. Okay, next we get into something called the fiscal year, right? So if we go back to this list here, what we got. So we create a company, we create a company code, and we're gonna look at the fiscal year variance first, and we'll jump into the account groups later. Okay. So now we're gonna go back into fiscal year variance. Fiscal year variance are basically what January to December and March to March and things like that. So there is something called fiscal year variant here. In the US we use K4. Okay, K4 is it's a calendar year. Calendar year means it's going to go from January to December. Okay, it has 12 posting periods, and it has 4 special periods at the end of the year for year-end closing activities. And if you check this thing, it is really the calendar year dependent. It's going to coincide with the actual calendar. It means 1 will be 1, 2 will be 2, 3 will be 3. There is no change. Okay. And then you can take an existing one, you can copy it, or just you can use K4. So let's just, for fun purposes, let's just create K5. Okay. And I'm just going to say I'm just going to only need 1 special period. So I'm not going to change a whole lot. Okay. So instead of 4 special periods at the end of the year, I only have 1 special posting period. So I have K5. Okay. And everything, it copies all the properties from K4 back down below. So I can click on K4, and I can click on, just give me some openings. Nothing there at this point. And this is not a shortened fiscal year ways where you're implementing SAP brand new, and you're only managing books for the last 3 months or last 4 months. It's called the shortened fiscal year. Okay. So we created the fiscal year K5, and now I can go back to my company code 1003 and assign K5. So assigning that fiscal year back to that company code that I'm creating. So now this company code is going to have 12 posting periods, but only 1 special period. And now we get into the posting period variance. Okay? So now we define the variance for open posting periods. Variant is nothing but it's just a tool to be able to create some kind of a functionality. So we have to create a variant, assign some properties to variant, assign the variant back to the company code, so the company code gets the properties. Okay? So I'll take 1000, and I create my own special variant called 1003, variant for the solutions, and I'm just gonna click on it. And some posting periods. So I'm just gonna take an existing one here. So what this shows is it gives you flexibility to close books in a sequential fashion. So when you're closing the books, you don't close all the modules within SAP at the same time, right? First thing you close typically is your AP/AR ones, right? That's the very first thing you close. The second one typically you close is the assets, right? And the third one you probably close is the materials, okay, material ledger, AP/AR, and then your assets. And the very last one you close is really going to keep your basic GL open so you can make some adjustments, right? Make some adjustments and close all of the books at the same time. So here there are different segments. Plus means everything, okay? I'm just going to drop down here. Plus means all account types. A is assets, D is customers, K is for vendors, M is for materials, and S is for ledger. Means if I have a line, say I'm just going to close, you can close M, means no more goods receipts. Okay? If you close K, means no more invoices going to be accepted for the posting period. D means no more customer invoices being accepted. A means we cannot post any more assets. Okay? And the last one is S means just the basic GL documents and you make some adjustments and you close the books for S, and then you close the plus, means everything is closed, and then you move on to the next period. The way it's going to work is, right now if I see it, plus, so everything from 2009, okay, everything from 2009 to 2012, actually 2016, everything is open. From 2012 to 2016, I'm fairly wide open at this point. Okay, I can post, as long as the last entries I could actually post was, prior entries was actually go back into, let's say 2009. So here I can adjust which period, from period and also to period. I can adjust the posting periods. Okay. And then this thing, I'm just going to take all these things, 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to assign these things to my variant 003. That I just created, right? I just created. And then I'm just going to hit enter and save. So now Verity Solutions, it has its own hosting period variant. So I can control for that company code 1003 which modules I need to close, which periods I need to open. I can control those variables. Or the chart of accounts. Again, to get into chart of accounts, to get into financial accounting, general ledger accounting, GL accounts, master data preparations, chart of accounts. Chart of accounts we've been using INC chart of accounts, and typically, you can take an existing set of chart of accounts. Every company will have one set of chart of accounts. Let's use chart of accounts US. And then we can copy it, or we can just take INC and copy it too. Okay. So you can take the existing chart of accounts INC, copying it, and look at the length of GL account. See, so I control it here, saying it's 10. So I can make it a 6 here. Means in my new, let's say, V solutions chart of accounts. Here, this is where the solutions chart of accounts. And I'm going to only do 6, and I'm going to do automatic creation of cost elements. Means automatically when I create a P&L account, it's going to create a automatic cost element in the backend. Okay, and also my group chart, it's going to ask me for my group chart of accounts, which I can do US, CS, something like that. It got to be something. Group chart of accounts are chart of accounts when you actually close it, when you're doing the consolidations, you need a group chart of accounts. Let's see if there is a group chart of accounts defined anywhere. Something, somebody, I will just copy someone else's group chart of accounts. Okay, so now I have my own set of chart of accounts, but right now it's only like a shell. There is no accounts in that chart of accounts, right? There's nothing. If I go look up my FS00, that BS will have nothing, no GL accounts. So I have to create everything from scratch, right? Now what I'm going to do is my 10003. It's going to use the chart of accounts that we created. That's going to be VSCA. Okay, that's going to be the chart of accounts that we're going to use. So, and 1000, look, 1000 is using chart of accounts INC, the one company that we've been using for practice. and 1003 now is going to use VSCA. So does VSCA have GL accounts now? Nothing. It's just nothing. There should be. So what do I do? First step is go to FS00 and start creating GL accounts in that VSCA. Okay. Then I can do a full view, or I can do a chart of account view. I can do a company code view. I can do many different views. Okay. And then account groups. So what are the? I mean, I have existing account groups, but I can also copy and create my own account groups. Account groups are what? When I go to FS00, I see those big list of things. This is where I create them. Okay, I'll open another session here. For you, and if I go to FS00, and my company code is going to be 1003. So now it says no account groups defined. So I haven't created any other account groups for this. Yeah. Let's go into accounting, financial accounting, and let's go into general ledger. Let's go into accounts, master records, GL accounts, processing, in chart of accounts, VSCA. Let's say I don't know. There should be nothing at this point. So if I do a drop down and VSCA, drop down, and if I put in chart of accounts, and if I do a extract, it should be 0. No chart of accounts defined at this point, right? So I'm just gonna go out, and I'm just gonna create centrally. I can't create because I don't have any account groups at this point. So I'm gonna go back. You're connecting, right? You're connecting the back versus the front now. Okay. So I'm just gonna take. There should be something called a general GL accounts that really seem to have worked for us. Everything is kind of confusing here. Maybe not actually. Chart of accounts. I'm just gonna go chart of accounts INT. Okay. Look at it. Okay. In INT there should be something called maybe that one. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of wide open. See the accounts system 000. I can create any number range. Doesn't matter. Any number, but we need to be able to kind of fix an interval for this guy. Let me see, cash, GL accounts, everything is kind of messed up here. Okay, everything is pretty messed up. INT1, INT, doesn't matter. Let's just take one. Let's assume that's the right one. I'm just going to copy it. So my chart of accounts is VSCA. My account group is VSGL. Accounts. And I'm just going to go from 000 to just do like that. Okay, so it needs to be in that range. Okay. And then save it. Okay. And then I can create more. I can create cash is from 000 to 1, assets from 1000 to 2000. I can create my inventory accounts, material accounts. I can create the whole series account groups for my own company code, whatever the company really requires. And at the very last, I create a retained earnings account. So right now, for this chart account, there's nothing, right? So, but I didn't even create the accounts yet, so it's not going to even work. So I got to go back and create the retained earnings account, and then come back and put this in here. So let's go back here. Go back to my stuff. Create centrally. And I'm just going to say create with reference. There's nothing actually there. Solutions. Just going to create one. define object. No account type is defined. No PV scale statement account type is defined. Information over this. It's not letting me do it. Something wrong. Yeah, let me go see. There's more steps missing for us. So I created a chart of accounts, assigned the chart of accounts to my company code. I created my account group. Go back to my global company code view. Posting periods. We did all those things. I'm just going to break for a second here.
Yeah, that's what it is, right?
Yep. Let's proceed here. So we've seen creating a company code, right? Company code, and then we've seen how to create a chart of accounts. We copied INC to a new VSCA, and then we assigned the company code to chart of accounts, and we created a brand new account group, right? And we assigned, we missed that, so we haven't defined the return earnings account yet. And we maintain the fiscal year variant. Fiscal year variant is K4, right? We just copy it. It's going to one fiscal year variant. And if it is Dubai or something, you can do March to March. You can control when it starts, when it ends, and you assign the company code to that particular fiscal year variant. And you find the posting periods variants are typically assigned for controlling the when you close the books, okay, for each company code, and which modules we're going to close in what sequence. So the posting period.
Over there, you were having the accessibility to actually close all the assets and general.
Yeah, plus means everything,
right?
And you can also close individual ones.
Okay, so by how the companies operate, is it individually or is it like all together?
It's individually. Yep. The sequence they go is they close them.
If we are working on AP, then we have the access to only the AP.
No, there will be one person who manages the close. He will send you an email saying that the material ledger is closed, no more postings, so you can't do goods receipts. And then that must maybe first of that month, and the second of the month, he's going to say AP is closed. Hello, sir. Let me get back to you. Can you? So again, you do the you can close the material ledger, you can close the AP, you can close the customer invoices, you can close sequentially, and at the very time you close the plus.
Okay, but it automatically updates in the balance sheet?
No, there's no. You can't post anything. That's it. There is no updating the balance sheet. You can't just post it. And you can do open close posting periods. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. He's just naming the transaction there. Yeah, he's just naming the transaction. He's just naming the transaction. So here you can kind of go and open and close different posting periods right now. So for 1000, the one we're using we're open up until 2016. So the prior, only the past months are really 2009. You can't post before 2000.
The company is open one by one, right?
One by one, yeah.
By 2016.
Yep.
They closed the 2010 one. You can do any posting.
Yep. And then you assign the posting period into the company code, and then we created the, and the next one is the document types. We're going to look into that. We talked about SA, AA, DR, KR. Those are all different document types. You don't have to create document types. You don't have to create document.
Where will you use this What is
Yeah.
SAP? Yeah, yeah, I know what is schedule. Oh, okay. We should know that SA means okay, that vendor and the
And also document number ranges. Document number ranges are when you create the document, you'll be getting at 100044. Those are the document number ranges. So for company code 1000, we have all these different number series, O1. So let's say we are in 2014, O1 2014. So the O1 series starts with 01000 to 199999. And the last document that we create is 45. So next time you do a posting, it's going to be 46. Okay. So for the number range that the company code that we created, there's nothing. There's no number ranges defined. It's 1003, right? So I copy this to 1003. That company code. I'm copying the number intervals from 1000 to 10003. Okay. And saying it's just a warning sign. And it's gonna kind of ask.
Yeah, we can either transfer it or either we can create our own number.
Yeah, now the number ranges for 1003 are being created. So now I'm going to look at 1003 intervals, and now we should have the same series for 2000. We have the same thing, but I don't have any documents. Look at that status, right? I have zero documents created. So we're just going to use the same thing. We're just going to use O1 assigned to my corresponding document type. Okay. And then I did the copy to company code. I can also do fiscal year. You can do that, and I can go to document types now. Document type that we've been posting is SA, right? We're going to go into SA, and we're going to go take a look at it. SA uses number range O1. Okay, it's number range O1. O1 is start with 100 to 1999, and in our company code, we assign O1 now to our company to this document number range. So now whenever we post, it should get like 1. Document should be 1. Okay. So this is how SAP gives you all these document types. You typically rarely you create, but you can always take an existing document type and you can copy it to a new document type. And you can go on the view and you can look at the the existing configuration for document type, and it controls the number range document type. When you reverse the document type, what is the document type that you need to create? And what account types are postables? For SA, I can post everything. I can post assets, customers, vendors, metals, everything I can post into SA document type. But for AA, only assets should be postable. Or for my KR, only my vendor should be postable. So I can control the the properties for this particular document number range. So I can take an SA and let me say, typically when you copy, you should put in the Z range. So Z1 is not available now, so I'm just going to take a Z range. I'm just going to copy to Z1, and I can change here saying unity expense postings, something like that. And I can go back, look at it. I can customize and modify these things. Let's say my number range now should be something else, not 1. I want any postings to this document should be in a different series, in a different number ranges. Okay, so I'm just gonna put number range in 09. So, and then 09 would be something else. It would be maybe they'll start with the 999 series, something different. Okay. Let's say for Z1 I can only do general GL. Okay, nothing else, right? Negative postings are permitted. And I'm going to use my M rate, and I can save it. Okay. And I think we have run through the pretty much quite a bit there. Headers.
As a consultant, are we supposed to know everything?
Yes. We put in different number ranges for each document type. Yeah. The last one is really you have to create the tolerance groups, okay, for employees. So I'm just going to take company code 1000. It's going to be across all the company codes. I'm just going to create a tolerance group called 1003, and I can put in the amount that anybody can post is $100,000. Same thing. I'm just going to do it here. And then you can assign users to that particular tolerance group. So if I leave it, I can assign a user. I can just leave it open. And then my taxes come right here. I go into financial accounting, global settings. I go into taxes for sales and purchasing. The way the taxes work is you have tax procedures. Tax procedures come by default. In SAP, every country has its own tax procedures. US has its own tax procedure. Let's say, for example, tax US. Let's look at tax US. Okay, tax US is a tax procedure that system has supplied you, and you can just by default that's available. And tax procedures have access sequences and condition types. Access sequences defines how a particular the tax amount that you're putting in is going to be derived. That's called the access sequence. Let me just break the people video. So field status controls what you need to suppress, what is required, and what is optional. It controls the fields that you need to enter the information. To get to that, you need to go into financial accounting global settings. You need to go into document, line item, and you need to go into field status variants. And typically you have a variant which is 1000 that we've been using here, 1000, and the variant has groups. So 1000 has all these different groups. Let's say we have a G001, which is a general account group, and you also have material consumption account group, you have a cost account group, and you have different types of accounts have different types of groups. So let me click on the general account group, and if I click on the field status, it shows you all the select groups within that group. And if I click on the general data, for example, the text, so it's optional entry. Okay, the hedging, which is all these things like collection invoices, inflation, that's all these things are suppressed. Means if you use 001, you won't see it. Huh? It's just a field. What is that? Well, hedging, hedging your FXs, hedging your options, hedging. And if I go into the next one, the cost center, for example, for the general GL account is optional. The WBS elements, in this one is suppressed. Sales order is suppressed. The plant is suppressed. So you can turn either you can suppress, means it's not going to be visible. You're not going to enter any data, or you can make it required, or you can make it optional. If it is a cost, let's say for example, if it's a cost accounts, you want to make the cost center as required field. If it is a cash account, you want to make it a value date as a required field. Or if you can select some assets, for example. You need to probably have a field to capture the asset that you're actually buying as a required field. Okay. So this is how you control what you need to be entering into the system.